violence or no other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Another shooting at Lenox Square in Buckhead 2 hours ago. Atlanta police told us someone shot a man walking out of the mall this evening.
Dang. And I'm telling you, Lenox is a hotbed for the super gremlins. You know, back in the day, Lenox really was like luxury mall. Like, you could go there and, you know, you could spend a whole day there, pick up some girls' numbers, you know, just do some regular kid stuff. But nowadays, you're at risk of being robbed, shot, ambushed, carjacked by these super gremlins, and it's out of control. It's out of control. And I don't know what they're gonna do to get this thing under wraps, but it's Lenox is on demon time.
They believe the shooter was in a dark-colored sedan. We're told someone drove the victim to the hospital. He is still alive tonight. And next, coming in tonight, 2 men in 2 stolen sports cars, yet it only took deputies 23 minutes to stop them. It happened yesterday in Forsyth County. Deputies say the men showed up to a car dealership on Georgia 400 asking to test drive a Dodge Charger. They took off without the salesperson inside.
Red Camaro, newer model, with black hood.
This is body cam video showing a deputy in the area responding after one man took off in that stolen Charger, the other in a red Camaro that the suspect took to the dealership. Listen as that deputy stops one suspect.
3162 has contact with a red Camaro.
The deputy stepping outside.
Hands up! Hands up!
Wow, this is a female. This is a female officer. She crashed him and then pulled the strap out.
That deputy arrested the driver of the Camaro
Roll the window down!
and learned that car was even stolen out of DeKalb County.
Dang, so that Camaro was stolen, and then they stole a Charger, and they're doing a little finesse like, yo, let me test drive it, da 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 da. Once he get out, boom, take off.
Meanwhile, a nearby deputy was in the car wash when radio alerted him that the driver of the stolen Charger had crashed and ran away.
Complainants advising that they saw the car crash out, full of nails right into the woodways.
And what are the odds of this? That suspect goes running in front of that deputy.
He's running in front of the deputy that's getting a car wash. You can't make this up. And then they'll say, bro, why you just stop him, bro? All he was doing was jogging. He can't even jog. Yo, I'm telling you, these super gremlins are just trash at crime. This man crashed the whip and then is running around a car wash right in front of the officer who is getting the notification. Like, I mean, what great timing. That is crazy.
When radio alerted him that the driver of the stolen Charger had crashed and ran away.
Complainants advising that they saw the car crash out, full of nails right into the woodways.
And what are the odds of this? That suspect goes running in front of that deputy.
And the community would be like, oh, you stopped him for no reason. How did you know he was like, come on, bro. They just always be stopping us.
And what are the odds of this? That suspect goes running in front of that deputy. He was arrested.
Breaking news right now. Atlanta police are investigating after a person was found shot and killed in an apartment complex. Channel 2's Tom Jones just arrived at the apartments on Campbellton Road. Tom, what are you seeing out there right now?
And it's going down on Campbellton Road. If you guys don't know where that's at, it's a known place to get busy. All right. And it's just happening over and over again. It's the cycle.
Yeah, Fred, we are at the Apple Tree Townhomes just off of Campbellton Road. I got here about 10 minutes ago. When I got here, I saw a number of officers here at the scene. They've been concentrating their efforts at that unit over there, but most of the activity is over here at a unit to the right. This is where we understand a person has been shot to death. Police are about to give us an update on what brought them here and how that person was killed. Meanwhile, I spoke to a tenant here who says he helped that person move in some years ago. He says that he was a nice person, always smiling, and he said it is sad that that person lost their lives this way. We're gonna go and talk to police, and we'll have more coming up. We're live in Southwest Atlanta. Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action.
Exactly 1 year after a 12-year-old boy disappeared and was found shot to death near his home, his family is now pleading with anyone out there who knows what happened to just come forward. Channel 2's Tom Jones live for us in Southwest Atlanta with the new developments in this case, which, Tom, you found out just this afternoon.
Guys, the family wants somebody to come forward. Man, it's not likely. I mean, we have this street code so deeply ingrained that we're not just gonna up and give up a known shooter. You know, some people have their reasons. Maybe they don't want to face retaliation. Maybe they're scared to give the tip. Okay? But I'm telling you right now that the community is mum's the word. And that's why it continues to be on demon time.
Yes, there was a news conference in this parking lot, George, and that's where the family said they are very frustrated that David Mack's killer remains on the loose. They're also not happy with how police and city officials have handled this case. They say they would find some comfort if his killers were in custody.
I miss him coming up to me, telling me, "Grandma, I love you."
It's been a year since someone shot and killed Glenda Mack's 12-year-old grandson, David Mack, not far from her home. Mack raised David. She never thought a year later David's killer or killers would still walk the streets.
I mean, how can you have that kind of hatred? You can have that kind of hatred about another child.
And this woman, you know, she doesn't understand the times. She doesn't understand how these super gremlins feel about each other. Okay? And understandably, I'm sure she's not listening to hip hop. She probably is one of those grandmothers who can't stand the N-word and all that kind of stuff, right? But, and that just disproves that, oh, people was calling, because I was on the Lapeef network and people were saying, oh, well, we was calling each other the N-word since the 1920s. No, we weren't, bruh. Like, my grandparents were not calling each other the N-word. Y'all got to get out of here with this stuff. But anyways, these super gremlins don't care. And she's saying that the cops aren't doing enough and that's not it. That's not it. It's the community. It's the beloved community that isn't going to say anything, even if they know, because the street it goes against the street code.
David left Mack's home on Beecher Road that afternoon. This is video of the last time his family saw him. He was headed to visit a friend. When he never returned home, his family began searching for him. They found his bullet-riddled body in a wooded area.
It's hard to remember the memories of him because we so traumatized about what we saw when we found his body.
The family has walked the streets passing out flyers, doing anything to try and find David's killer. They believe Atlanta police hasn't put forth the same effort.
We have received nothing.
Is that because they don't have anything?
We don't know what they have.
An APD spokesperson told me officers are actively working the case and they need help from the public.
Right. Exactly. The public, aka the community. Don't try and belittle these officers. We don't know what they doing. We ain't got an update. That's your street code in effect. That is the community. No other community would let a known killer, a known murderer of an 8-year-old boy keep it moving and keep him moving in the streets. You know what I mean? He probably walked by, you ain't even know. He probably walked right by you and you did not even notice. Okay? So don't blame the police for this. For one, who was calling for the defunding of the police? Who is going to be most negatively affected by the defunding of the police? And, you know, now they're saying, oh, well, the police ain't doing their job. And it's like, well, this is what y'all asked for. And this is what we uphold in the community. Right? No snitching. Snitches get stitches. We're really the only ones who hold that dear to our hearts. Right?
The family held this news conference where they also asked for help from the community. Mac also had a message for David's killer.
I want you to come forward. Maybe you're not as bad as we think you are.
Honey, do not give the super gremlin an out. Maybe he's not as bad. He killed an 8-year-old boy. He's bad. That's a bad man. That's a bad man. He don't care about, you know, you asking for him to turn himself in. The super gremlin has no empathy, no emotion, no conscience. Okay? And he's going to displace the blame on somebody else. Maybe he was aiming for somebody else and your son was in the way. Well, he shouldn't have been in the way. Da-da-da-da-da. The super gremlin doesn't care about the push movement. Pray until something happens. Super gremlins don't pray. They're on demon time.
And police told me the homicide commander wants to meet with David's grandmother to talk about this case. She said she'll meet with them. Also, they're asking anyone with any information about this case to give police a call or call Crime Stoppers. You can get that Crime Stoppers number in this story on our website. We're live in Southwest Atlanta. Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
Family and friends of 18-year-old Nakia Crawford gathered outside North High School in Akron for a special ceremony almost a year after her death.
She brought a smile to each one of our faces every single time she walked through that door.
Thursday night, the school dedicated a bench in her honor. Nakia was shot and killed last June in her car while running errands with her grandmother on North Howard Street near downtown.
Woo, that's wild. And some of y'all are like, man, we've only been seeing Atlanta stories. How does this connect to Atlanta? Well, I'm going to show you just how this story connects to Atlanta. But these super gremlins are mobile. The poverty excuse is dead. Because this super gremlin was able to go from Akron to Sandy Springs.
That excitement she had to get her life started and to give back to her community.
Nakia was murdered just days after her high school graduation. She had planned to attend Central State University and major in computer science.
I told you guys, women, children, it doesn't matter. The super gremlin does not discriminate.
Time has a way of bringing some healing to some wounds.
Pastor R. Stacy Jenkins is pastor to the Crawford family.
It helps them because they can come here and take a look and you can feel her. You could feel her presence.
And it was a presence that staff here at North High School say lit up the hallways. Teachers say Nakia, also known as Kiki, was a kind and hardworking student and wanted to become an IT specialist.
And last summer, Nakia...
Dang. So she wasn't going to college for you know, none of those humanity classes and sociology, psychology. No, she wanted to be an IT specialist. This is one of our brightest, and I continue to say that we eat our own. The community destroys the best of us and maintains and sustains the worst of us. That's why these super gremlins are able to get off and do whatever they want to do, because the no snitch policy, the street code. All right. So this is the issue in the community. And I don't think we're ready to face it. But if we want to face this issue, we're going to have to hit it head on and denounce the negativity in the community, which we're not ready to do, and uplift the positivity. This woman, she was going into the STEM field. She's going into STEM. She's not finna do no play major. She was finna work her butt off. Had all her life to live. And it was taken away by a super gremlin on demon time.
Was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Akron police say they believe then 17-year-old Adarus Black fired indiscriminately at Crawford's car.
Adarus Black.
Thinking it belonged to a rival. Black remains at large.
We're going to put justice in the hands of God, and he'll work it out.
No, put justice in the hands of these police departments. See, this is what we got to stop doing. Look, we honor the Most High, and I'm a God-fearing man and all that kind of stuff. But no, give credit where credit is due. These police officers are going to be the ones who make the arrest. No disrespect to God. Obviously, he works through the police officers, but it's not going to be God, bruh.
Ultimately, that would help them is some degree of justice. And that's going to happen.
In Akron, Melissa Reed, Fox 8 News.
For a local family, an accused killer finally tracked down. It took years, but Adarus Black is finally behind bars.
Years. It took years, and the only reason that he got caught was because he continued to do crimes in another area. It wasn't because the community ratted on him. It wasn't because, black people, enacted some integrity and said, hey, we're not going to let a person who killed a little girl remain on the street. Nah, he just made a mistake.
Thanks for joining us for 19 News at 5. I'm Chris Fry.
And I'm Tiffany Tucker. At 4 o'clock, we told you police found him hiding out 700 miles away. Now new at 5 o'clock, our Brian Duffy is live with how the woman who had to watch her granddaughter take her final breath reacted to this news. Brian.
This is really something. I mean, this is a case that really shook the city of Akron right to its core. Nakia Crawford died in a car in this city. Her grandmother was riding in that car with her, watched her granddaughter die, and now finally that alleged killer is behind bars. We spoke with that grandmother today, Lynn Williams, and yes, she is relieved and hopeful that this young man will spend a lot of time behind bars.
The rest of his life, preferably, please. I mean, we need to start giving the death penalty for straight up murders, bro. Makes no sense.
It was June of 2020. Nakia Crawford was with her grandmother running errands at West North and Howard in Akron when all of a sudden, gunshots. Nakia had been shot, murdered. Until today, her grandmother, Lynn Williams, had kept her thoughts to herself. Still hard for you probably to comprehend that day.
Yeah. I think it'll be with me for the rest of my life. I was in the car with her, so.
Adarus Black was identified by Akron police almost immediately.
She was in the car with him. She could have been hit too. This is the disregard for human life that these super gremlins have.
Immediately as the alleged shooter. He was arrested last night in Atlanta by U.S. Marshal.
Dang, this man went from dark skin to light skin. Hold up. He dark skinned in this picture.
Police almost immediately as the alleged shooter. He was arrested.
And he light skinned in what? Honestly, I wouldn't have recognized him at all. So maybe the community tried to tell on him, but then he grew them dreads and it was OV. Honestly, I mean, Did he go to Jamaica and get some skin lightening products? What happened? This man went from dark skin to light skin.
Did last night in Atlanta by U.S. Marshals. He was in this black Camaro, caught on security cameras near the scene. That car later found abandoned in Cleveland. Police said the shooting was a case of mistaken identity. Nakia Crawford was never the intended target. How do you feel about this young man being arrested?
I'm happy. I'm finally. I think our family can finally close now, and she can rest in peace.
Amen. Just understand. Please just understand that in the community, there is somebody saying free him. There's somebody saying free him.
Nakia was just 18. Her life laid out in front of her. In June of 2020, she was just a month or so away from her freshman year at Central State University.
Hopefully he do life for real, because I mean, she had a lot going for herself.
What do you miss most about Nakia?
Everything. Everything. She was an awesome person. I miss everything about her.
U.S. Marshal Pete Elliott said he knows that this arrest will not bring Nakia back, but he hopes it begins the process of closure for the family. The Akron Mayor Daniel Horrigan said that Akron police did a wonderful job in this case. Unfortunate that it took so long to track down the suspect, but he also hopes that closure is coming soon for the family. Reporting live in Akron, Brian Duffy, 19 News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.